What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another live episode on the podcast. Super excited for today. I'm going to be talking about anxiety. I'm going to be talking a lot about my struggles with anxiety, guys. Steven, what's going on, brother? Didn't take you long to get in here. What's up, baby? Happy freaking Wednesday, bro. Hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday. I know you're just getting up, so I'm going to make this a fucking fire episode for you, bro. Get you fired up, get you out of bed, get you loving life today. But today, guys, I'm going to be talking about efficiently crushing your anxiety. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because, well, I've been dealing with it my entire life. I'm 25 years old, be 26 in a couple months. And my entire life, I've struggled with being anxious. I've always been an anxious kid. I got bullied. My parents, had marital problems, and there was a lot of, yelling and screaming and fighting, and it was a lot mentally on me and my sister and our family. And I feel like I didn't have really any way at the time to cope with the stress. And, I found the gym early on at an early age, and I was able to kind of release my anxiety and my stress into the gym. And what's going on for those of you guys just joining in? Happy freaking Wednesday. I'm just kind of giving you guys a background on today's podcast. Today's episode is going to be on anxiety. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure you guys tag somebody in the comments that needs to hear this discussion on anxiety. If you yourself suffer from anxiety, I want to hear from you guys. Type a little bit about you and your story. Maybe how long have you guys been struggling with this? You're obviously here for a reason. I've spoken about anxiety and depression in the past. And like I say, guys, I'm so passionate about this because I've struggled with this for a very long time. I don't talk about shit that doesn't relate to me. I don't preach something that I can't directly relate to. Just to kind of put that out there. That's not what I do. I don't fucking preach about fake stuff. I preach about stuff that's practical and that's real to me and that I'm passionate about. And anxiety is definitely one of those things. I teach, Steven knows this. I talk about this a lot in the community. I'm very big on emotional health. Outside of just our physical health and our mental health, we have to also consider our emotions and how we're dealing with past trauma, how we're dealing with anxious thoughts, anxious behaviors, depression, right? Like life is fucking really hard. And so many of us are dealing with inner demons, with self-limiting beliefs. And it's because of PTSD, of past trauma, of things that we've went through. And for me, like I said, I grew up in a house, and I'm not saying I didn't have a great childhood. I had a very good childhood, but with that came a lot of fighting. My mom was in and out of the hospital for 5 years. So I had to kind of witness that. And I would always, pray for her, make sure that our family stayed together. And I always felt like obligated to be in control and have to take care of my family when my dad was out in Texas during the hurricane and we had no money. We had to apply for food stamps. We had no food on the table. Like it was a scary time. And as a 10, 11, 12-year-old, you're not even a teenager yet, but you're old enough to be aware of what's going on. And psychologically, it did a lot of damage to me and made me hold on to that anxiety. And I'm here to tell you guys today a few things that I've done to cope with that anxiety. And as much as those things still, I believe, still bother me, at 25 years old, that doesn't mean that I don't have certain techniques or certain habits or rituals that I do every day that make that anxiety, decrease or get better. With time, guys, with time and the proper habits and proper rituals, you're able to defeat anything, any anxious thoughts, any demonous thoughts, or, depression or whatever you're going through. You can get through it if you are just relentless enough to keep searching for something that works for you. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get started with the podcast. I'm going to try to keep it nice and short, simple, to the point today. If you guys are just tuning in and you guys would like to tag somebody that hears this message, or if you guys can't stay for the whole live and want to come back and watch the replay, you guys can do that as well. It'll be on Facebook, Instagram, and also on the Apple Podcast app, as well as Spotify. You can listen to it when this is all said and done. So I appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day. We're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode on the Relentless Life Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Chance. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to efficiently crush your anxiety. Today, I'm going to be going deep into detail within a 10 to 15 minute period about my story, what I've been through with being an anxious kid and how that's how it kind of stemmed and where I'm at today, and how my anxiety over time has decreased because of certain habits, because of certain rituals that I do on a daily basis. I'm very consistent with these things, and it's made me feel better because of the consistency. Now, if anyone out there on the live stream right now that's currently listening live, if you guys have any experience with anxiety, with anxious thoughts, with past trauma that has made you anxious, and maybe you're still anxious today, maybe you're not, and maybe you figured it out. Either way, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear me in the comments if you guys have struggled with anxiety before. I want to hear me in the comments if you guys listening right now on the live stream have struggled with anxiety before. Now, I should see everybody say me, because anxiety, guys, is a natural human emotion. It's a natural human feeling that all humans at one point or another in their life will experience. Anxiety comes with the basic stresses of life: work, relationships, right? Having children, starting a family, in-laws. Like, there's so many different forms of stress that can be placed on us, that God places on us, and we don't know why, but we have to figure out how to deal with it. And this, money, I didn't even mention money and finances. And stress, guys, accumulates and causes you to become anxious over time when that stress is not dealt with. And 99% of human beings don't know how to efficiently cope with that stress. So that stress winds up manifesting into anxiety. And when that anxiety sits within us for a long enough period of time, we start to get, depression. Things like depression can start to set in. We're not as confident in our abilities to overcome that anxiety and that stress and that depression, because it's been there for a long time now. So I'm here to tell you guys today that I have been through a lot of stress. I've been through many, many years of being anxious, and anxiety turned to depression, especially when I lost the gym. I lost my only form of therapy. That's when the depression really started to sink in. But then I was forced to have to find other things. I found other things that made me happy. I quit my full-time job. I started my coaching business. Now I'm helping other men kind of transform their life, feel better, look better, perform better, and just be better men. And I'm finding that is helping me a lot with my anxiety. So the number one thing, guys, for today's podcast to kind of help, efficiently crush your anxiety is finding a passion, a career, a profession, something that you become obsessively passionate about that takes your energy. So now 95% of your time is consumed with something that you enjoy, something that you love. You're no longer putting your thoughts, your action, and your energy into something that you don't like. So that's the number one thing, guys. The number one thing I recommend that you do right now, immediately, as we always say, success like speed on this podcast, is go out and find something that makes you happy. Go out and find something that you're very passionate about, and Stephen P., I see you, brother. Happy freaking Wednesday. And guys, when you find something that you're passionate about and then you become obsessed with that passion, you get lost in so much happiness and positivity, then that anxiety, that depression, and that stress that's accumulated in you over the years starts to kind of rid from your body, and you start to feel better. You start to feel like you're able to breathe, and oh my God, like I found my calling. And that's the number one cause in many, not everyone, but in many people's situations. The reason why you're so anxious is because you're currently happy with the situation you're in life. And 90% of our time, 80% of our time is work. We all have to work. We all have to afford to live. We all have to feed our families, right? Feed ourselves. The only way that you do that is through working and through making money. So finances, guys, have a large role in our stress. And when we do something, when we work and we make money towards in something that can feed us, that we're passionate about, we're going to be happy now. Instead of 20% of the time, we're going to be happy 80% of the time, right? So that's kind of my first point here, guys, with finding happiness and with getting away from anxiety and efficiently crushing our anxiety. I'm not trying to teach you guys how to manage your anxiety. I'm trying to teach you guys how to fucking crush it and become an absolute beast and become confident and respect yourself and love the person staring back at you in the mirror. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand today. It's not about managing anxiety. It's about fucking crushing your anxiety. It's about being a beast, being an alpha, being a dominant boss in your life. That's what I want you guys to get from this today. Like, we all have unlimited power. We're all limitless with what we can do. We have this access. We have access to this inner beast, to this inner alpha. And I need you guys to understand, in order to get access to that power, to that feeling, we first have to learn how to efficiently crush our anxiety. Because like I said, guys, from the beginning of this podcast, we all suffer from anxiety at one point or another in our life, in our journey on this earth. Anxiety is a real thing. It's not spoken about enough, and we all deal with it. I know every single person that's tuned into this live, that's listening to the replay, or that's listening to the podcast right now has dealt with anxiety at some point in their life, or if you really haven't yet, get prepared because anxiety is going to come. You're going to have anxious thoughts. You're going to be in a situation where you get kind of anxious. That is just a normal human emotion, a normal human feeling. And I'm here to tell you guys it's completely fucking normal. So do not get down on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be upset. You should, if anything, you should feel like I'm human. I'm real. I can feel things, right? Because I know there's a lot of numb people out there. There's a lot of people that are numb. They've been through so much trauma. They've been through so much past negative experience that they're now numb to the present moment. And guys, that to me is one of the saddest things a human can encompass, a human can experience is numbness, is not feeling. So if you're feeling anxious, you're at least a step ahead of the person that is numb. And I think a lot of us have been there as well. I at one point in my life, a few times I felt numb. I felt, what am I even doing? Why am I here? I have no purpose. I'm working a job I hate. I'm not working out. I hate my body. I hate the way I look. I have no confidence anymore. That's me feeling numb. And I know a lot of you guys watching this have probably experienced that as well. So when you're feeling anxious, know that you're a step ahead of being numb. Know that you're at least feeling normal human emotion. But this episode, guys, is about efficiently crushing that fucking anxiety so that you can step in to a better version of who you're supposed to be. I'm trying to get Steven to understand. The Stevens, I see you guys both in here. I'm trying to get you guys to understand that with a relentless mindset and an ability to want to crush your anxiety, anything is possible. When you step into that, anything is possible. So the number one thing, guys, is adopting and leaning in to your passion. And when you're obsessed with that passion, like I said, your energy is going to be more into that passion, more into that obsessive passion rather than thinking about your anxiety or living in past moments, past experiences. So that's the number one thing, guys. Number one thing right here for today with efficiently crushing anxiety is stepping in and leaning in to who you're supposed to be. The next thing, guys, with crushing your anxiety, something that I do every single day, every day, is a morning routine. And I just did a training on this today for the guys in my program. I just did a training today on having a morning routine, on the importance of adopting a morning routine and not just doing it twice a week or 4 times a week or a few weeks out of the month, but every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, for the rest of your life, you do this morning routine. Just like you don't skip brushing your teeth, and some of you people out there might skip brushing your teeth. That's disgusting. Don't skip brushing your teeth. That's fucking disgusting. So just like you wouldn't skip brushing your teeth or go into the bathroom or drinking your coffee or drinking your water, which a lot of us need to drink more water in the morning and not coffee, you're not going to skip your fucking morning routine. And that's what I'm trying to, get through to you guys today is number one, we talked about find a passion and obsess about that passion. Now, number 2 is get a fucking morning routine. My morning routine every morning, guys, takes me 45 minutes to an hour every day. I wake up at 5 o'clock, and I'm currently working to get up earlier again. I was getting up at around 4 for a while, but my new schedule, I've been getting up at 5. I do my morning routine until 6 o'clock. So from the hours of 5 o'clock till 6 o'clock every single morning, I do these same exact things. I wake up, get out of bed, I go turn on the cold shower, I go to the bathroom real quick, I hop in the cold shower for about 1 to 3 minutes, let the cold shower hit my chest, hit my back, splash under my armpits, right? Feel good. I'm nice and awake. Ooh, cold. I'm up. I dry myself. I go out and make a cup of coffee. I chug 16 ounces of water. I journal. Well, actually, first, guys, I'm skipping my first part. I move. I do some sort of movement in the morning. So I'll either go for a walk. If it's not too dark out, I will do some sort of mobilization of my body, foam rolling, lacrosse ball, stretching, something like that. I'll do some yoga, any sort of movement. I'll even just get down in a squat position and hold that position for a little bit. Do some squats, do some push-ups, something for 10 minutes minimum in your morning routine to get the blood flowing. Get your thoughts creative. Start to think, start to feel, start to wake up. You're awake. It's a new day, right? We're trying to wake the body, the mind, and the soul. And that's part of my morning routine. So after I move, I then proceed and I go and I meditate. I meditate, guys, for another 10 minutes. Usually I listen to a guided meditation. This lasts me anywhere from 9 to 12 minutes. I do that every morning. Then I'll also do some breathing exercises with that. I'll get the oxygen flowing in and out of my body. I'll even do some quick breath holds. Like there's a bunch of stuff, guys, that I do that's super in depth that I won't get into. But I do these things, guys, every single morning. And then after that, guys, I'll get into 10 minutes of education. I'll read for 10 minutes. I'll read a book every day for 10 minutes minimum. I like to read. I like to invest into my mind, into my education, and I read on something specific. When I'm done that book in a month and a half, I read another book, and then I read another book, and then I read another book. And it's the consistency that kills, the consistency that's going to progress me and allow me to grow to the next version of myself. And as we're speaking about anxiety today, it's what I need to prime my mind not to be anxious that day. When I crush my morning routine from 5 to 6, by the time it's 6 a.m., a lot of you guys are still fucking sleeping. I've already crushed my morning routine. I've moved. I meditated. I didn't speak about this, but I journaled. I journaled my affirmations, how my day is going to be, how I'm even feeling. Guys, I journal all the time how I'm feeling. Like if I'm feeling negative or if I'm having a bad day, I'll write that in my journal. I'll write that in my journal. And what's most important about journaling too is I affirm who I am. I affirm my fitness business. I serve this many people. I make this much money. I write down my goals. I write the kind of day that I want to have. I have a winning mindset. I am confident. I'm a great speaker. And I write all these things down. And usually I like to say them out loud, guys, because when you speak something, that's the next stage of learning something. You first write it, you read it, and then you speak it. And then it's instilled into your soul and who you are. So after that, guys, I do prayer. I pray for 3 to 5 minutes every morning. I do some sort of Bible verse, maybe not 3 to 5 minutes. Maybe it's a minute and a half. But I do a quick prayer. And I ask God to bless me, bless this day. I thank him for waking me up and keeping me in good standing health. I ask him to bless my family. I ask him to give me the power to change one more life today. I ask him to give me the power to serve my clients and to help better people. And I pray. And by that time, it's 6 o'clock. And by that time, had I not done all of those previous activities, I would have woken up, or I would have, instead of doing all those things, what do most people do, guys? They get on their phone. I own my phone because it's recording on Instagram. They get on their phone and they're swiping. You're swiping at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning before work for 30 minutes while you sit. You're swiping. And what does swiping do? First of all, it elevates the amount of cortisol that's released from your body, which is our number one stress hormone. Now it's saying Instagram has poor connection. All right, it's back. Cortisol is the body's number one stress hormone. So when we get onto our phones first thing in the morning, we're getting radiant blue light into our eyeballs, into our face, and that's making us release more of this cortisol, this stress hormone, and that's no good. Because the first thing now that you guys are doing is you're doing a negative habit. You're getting on a cellular device that is not meant for human beings technically. Like we're not supposed to be around these electronic magnetic frequencies, these EMF waves, that our devices are all connected to Wi-Fi, and these devices are getting signals, and we're sleeping near these signals, and we're on these signals when we wake up, and we're around them all the time, and they're hitting our brains or frying our brains or fucking our thoughts. And that's why human beings are having a lot of these problems with anxiety, depression, mental illness. That is a large reason to it. That's one of many large reasons. So instead of doing that first thing in the morning, boosting your stress hormones, feeling like shit, investing time into what Johnny and Rebecca are doing, or what your other couple friends are doing, or what your buddies are up to on their frat party, or what Dan is doing out in Las Vegas. Instead of looking at what they're doing first thing, I have a rule: the first 60 minutes of my day, I do not touch my cell phone at all. I do not touch. The first thing that I do when I touch my cell phone is I check on my clients, because they're my number one priority. But even before my clients, in order to be my best self for my clients, I have to be my number one priority. And in order to efficiently crush my anxiety, I have to put my needs first. And you guys need to put your needs first. If you guys want to be less anxious, feel more confident, be less depressed, you have to be selfish. And you have to put yourself first every single morning. You have to wake up with intention, drink your water, take your cold shower, journal, meditate, move. Should take you about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, read, pray, and go about your day. And now by doing these activities, you're now setting yourself up to win the day. and you're setting yourself up to be less anxious. And you're preparing your mind, your mentality, your mindset for that when something arises today, which every day brings new problems, right? When a problem arises today, you're in the right mindset and the right mind frame to deal with that problem and to deal with it without getting stressed, without getting anxious. Yeah, you might encompass a little bit of stress, but as long as you prime your mind early in the morning, you're going to be much more effective at dealing with that stress, dealing with those anxious thoughts. And something I like to do too throughout my day, if I'm feeling super anxious, I'll go and meditate for 5 minutes. I'll shut my phone off. I'll silence it, do whatever I have to do. It's getting a call. My dad's trying to call me. He should know I do lives at 12 o'clock. I silence it. I do what I have to do. And I meditate, and I feel better, and I feel less anxious. And I say, how do I want to feel from this situation? What is my intent on how I want to feel? That's the number 3 thing here, guys. Number 3 thing, besides our finding a good passion, a solid morning routine every day. The third thing is have intent. Have intent with how you feel. Believe it or not, guys, we all have the ability to make the decision on feeling a certain way. Like which a lot of you guys, myself included for the longest time, didn't quite understand was situations are going to happen to us. Shit's going to happen. A week and a half ago, when my girlfriend came home to come pack, actually our bags were all packed. She was getting off work. I had to pick up something from Publix. We came home. We've been having issues with our apartment, right? Flooding. We come home to grab our stuff, put it in the car, and go on vacation. Instead of being able to grab our stuff and put the stuff in the car, we came home to the entire living room being flooded. Our furniture was in it. The rug was covered in water. Our luggage was covered in water. And it was a mess. And it was like, seriously, like, God, we always joke around, her and I, we always say, can you just give us a damn break? Like, it just feels like things, I mean, if you guys are with me and you feel like sometimes life just keeps piling shit on over and over and over and over again, type me in the comments. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that, like, I don't know, guys, like for the last 3 months, my girlfriend and I both have felt like, oh my God, really for the last couple of years, but it's like, it feels like we can't catch a break. But then when you take a step back and you realize, yeah, those things suck and, you know, they keep happening one after another. And yes, it's a shitty situation and this, that, and the other thing. But take a step back and realize, like, we're healthy. We're alive. We have opportunity. We're in America. We have food on the table every night. We have a roof over our head, right? We got God. We got each other. We're in a great relationship. We have healthy and loving parents. And you have to remind yourself of these things to be grateful. When you remind yourself of these things and you decide to feel a certain way and decide to express a certain emotion, when you decide positivity over negativity, optimism over pessimism, if that's even a word, pessimistic, you're able to control the outcome of the situation. Yes, we get home and the apartment's flooded. We can't control that. We can't control the crappy builders that, you know, didn't seal up the foundation. Like, we can't control that. We didn't know that. They might not have even known that. It could have been a simple mistake. But what we can control and what we are responsible for is how we react when we walk in the door. And I am kind of shameful of saying this, but I was very agitated. You know, I had these issues with my body and I'm already in a shitty mood, like feeling wise with my body a lot of the time. So I get here and I'm like, oh my. So I freaked out a little bit. I was angry, but then I realized it was working my girlfriend up. And then I said, that's not going to get us anywhere. So I said, listen, babe, it is what it is. There's water all over our room. Let's do what we can do. What's the first step to solving this problem? That's the question. What's the first step I need to take to getting our luggage out of the water, drying the rug, doing the laundry? Yeah, it sucks. It just postponed us an hour from getting on the road, but it is what it is. And we decided that wasn't worth the anxiety of saying, what the F, this sucks. And right before vacation, really, everything bad happens to us. Instead of that, we took the narrative after we bickered a little bit and realized, why are we doing this? This is totally stupid. We realized that it's our decision to be positive here and fix what's there. And let's get on the road and go enjoy an awesome vacation. And that's what we did. And, that's a very good example, guys, of deciding how you're going to feel about a certain situation. And I think from today's episode, guys, with efficiently crushing your anxiety, that is a very, very big component of crushing your anxiety, is every time a shitty situation comes up, making the fucking decision to say, I'm going to feel this way about this situation, regardless of the outcome. I'm going to be happy throughout my entire day today, regardless of the outcome. I'm going to be positive regardless of the outcome. I'm going to have optimism throughout every obstacle God and life throws at me today, regardless of the outcome or the situation. And you've got to make that decision for yourself, because nobody else can control your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions other than you. You've got to understand that it starts with this thing right here. It starts with your mind. And going back to step number 2 in crushing your anxiety, guys, it's about building a solid morning routine. Building a solid morning routine, being very passionate about something, and at least, guys, I get it if you have to support yourself and you can't go all in on your passion right now, that's fine. But at least spend a few hours a week. At least start to spend some more time than you are currently. Make a vision board, and on that vision board, write down, I will spend 5 hours this week doing what I'm passionate about. I will spend 5 hours this week doing what I'm passionate about. And I guarantee you, if you can do that, you will start to feel less anxious. Because in those 5 hours, you're going to be strictly working towards something you're passionate about. You're going to be strictly investing into something, into yourself, into something that you're very passionate about. And when you're passionate about something, guys, that feeling of anxiety or depression, they start to go away, or they start to get suppressed just a little bit. Maybe not all the way. I'm not saying it's your cure, but I'm saying it's something you guys can use from this video to immediately implement to start to feel better in your own life. And without immediate action, guys, nothing fucking happens. Nothing works. Nothing changes in your life without fucking action. So out of those 3 things, guys, make sure that you start to invest some time in yourself. If you're someone struggling with anxiety, you're struggling with depression, I can totally relate to you. I've been going through this my entire life. To this day, I still get anxious. Every day I feel anxious. I mean, who am I kidding? It is what it is. I'm not perfect. And that's part of the reason why I'm passionate about helping other guys with their anxiety or their depression or their self-confidence, and with building a better body, because with a better body comes more self-confidence, comes less anxiety, comes less depression, comes being a better man. The reason why I'm so passionate about it, guys, is because I live it. I live it every day, and I hate the way that I feel. I don't want other people to feel like me. That's why I do what I do. And that's why I get on live here every single day. That's why I show up for you guys every single day. That's why I make podcasts and reels and posts. And I'm relentless, and I will not stop. Even if I get 100 views, I'm going to keep fucking showing up, because I know that it's still helping somebody. I know that this video is going to resonate with one new person, and that this video could be the fucking change and be the message that this one person needs in their life to be a better person, to be a better man for his kids, to be a better man for his family, to be a better man for himself and for God. And if that's what this video does, it is completely worth it to me to get on here every day and tell you guys that you're worth it, that this anxiety ain't shit, that you guys are alpha and you guys can do anything you set your fucking mind to. Put your head down and focus on what's important. Focus on your passion. Invest in a morning routine. Spend 30 minutes every morning, guys, meditating, moving, taking a cold shower, drinking a bunch of water. Invest in your health. Invest in your mindset, in your education, in God. And be a good person. Invest in the first hour of your day. Get up earlier. Get up earlier. That's your fucking problem, is you're going to bed too late. Quit going to bed at 11, 12 o'clock. Get up at 5, 6 in the morning. Millions are made in the morning, guys. Our mindset is set in the morning. This is all what we have control over. We don't control the situation, but we can control the way we react to the outcome. Try your best to control the outcome, but control your fucking mindset. Control the way you feel and the way that you act. You're going to have emotions that come up. You're going to have things that come up in life. But you guys have got to understand, just like my whole life, I've lacked this principle of understanding that you, me, Chance, you, Andrew, you, Steven, Kate, you are in control of the way you react to situations. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this, guys, is because it's something I've struggled with for a very long time. And I'm not shitting you guys. I'm not lying to you. I still struggle with this to this day. I'm a very emotional person. I'm a very passionate guy. And I struggle with getting too emotional in certain situations. I struggle to have more patience. But you got to have that self-awareness. You got to have that self-awareness. So I hope that this message resonated with somebody today, guys. I felt really good about today's message. I felt really positive. Steven, much love for showing up, bro. We can't sweat things beyond our control. Yes, bro. Think positive always, and positive results will start to manifest in your life. Steven said something in our group earlier this week. He said, I, Steven, am going to have a winning week. I manifest it right now in this moment. I believe it was Sunday. And so far, Steven's been crushing his week. Even with switching tonights, even with all this change in his life, he is not making excuses. You guys have got to stop making fucking excuses. I deal with shit all the time. There are people who deal with shit all the time. Family issues, breakups, getting sick, not having the energy, not having the motivation, losing their job. Wake up, figure it out, come up with a solution. Don't let your emotions determine the outcome of the situation. Don't let the anxiety control your mind. Control the anxiety, manage the anxiety, crush the anxiety, and be fucking relentless while doing it. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope that this resonated with at least one person. And I hope that you guys can implement immediately something from this video, something from this podcast. If you guys enjoyed today's episode on the podcast and you're listening to it on either Spotify or the Apple Podcast app, feel free to leave us a review. That way we can get this message of efficiently crushing anxiety to more people, to as many people as possible. I'm going to end the show here, guys. Stay fucking alpha, stay relentless, and keep investing into yourself. Invest into your passions. Don't let anybody tell you what you're worth. You know what you're worth. And we'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Peace, love, much respect. Let's go. Boom. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. I hate yelling because I'm in an apartment, but damn, let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. I love that, man. I love talking about, like, oh, my God, it just fires me up so much. Fires me up. Because, guys, even standing here right now, I'm fucking anxious. Like, straight the fuck up. Like, I'm so anxious right now. My body hurts. Like I'm being real with you guys. Like, I don't even care. Like, I'm not trying to prepare anything. Like, I don't have any notes. Like, there's no notes. Like, I just write down what I'm going to talk about, and I fucking talk about it. Because that's what I'm passionate about, guys. Without my passion, I would be drowned in anxious thoughts. I'd be drowned in, I'm anxious right now that I just yelled and that someone's going to come knocking. You're being too loud, right? I'm anxious all the time. And I'm not going to lie. That's my life. And a lot of it's because my body is so tense and because of past trauma and because of stuff I've had to deal with that I haven't mentally, emotionally coped with. But my morning routine and by working with my clients and by doing the things that I love and by deciding to not just by literally making the decision, I want to feel positive and not negative. I want to feel optimistic and not be a pessimist, right? Be pessimistic, if that's even a word. Making that decision is what allows me to continue to move on. Like, for right now, guys, I'm surviving my day. I wish I could say I'm thriving, but I'm just not. My whole body is a wreck. Like, I feel like complete dog shit. I felt like complete dog shit for the last 7 years. Straight up. I'm not bullshitting anybody. That's how I felt. And don't ask me how I've done it. It's because I look at it day by day. I say, just get through tomorrow. Just get through tomorrow. Just get through tomorrow. Just get through tomorrow for 7 years. And you tell me, guys, if you've ever been there, maybe you have, maybe you've been dealing something with it, even if it's not 7 years, even if you've been dealing with something for a year or 2 years or 3 years, you know what that can do to your mind. You know what it can do. It makes you anxious. It makes you eventually depressed. Like, there's no hope. Where's the light? I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where to turn. I don't know who to talk to. And that's how I feel every single day. I feel that way every day. I hold it in. Some days are better than others, but I just keep pushing and I keep moving. And that is what being relentless is all about. Is even if you have to give it 50% of your energy for 7 years, which is what I've been doing. You guys think that I've been going full throttle for the last 7 years? You guys haven't seen anything. You guys have not even seen a fraction of me serving. Like, I'm I've made a big leap with quitting my full-time job and getting on live here every day and starting my business. And I have now 11 clients and things are doing good, right? Like it feels good. That is a huge step. So of course I've improved, but I'm telling you guys right now, once I get things figured out with how I'm feeling with everything, my anxiety is going to go down. I'm going to be working out. I'm going to be taking videos in the gym and providing more value with the gym and with workouts and certain stuff with that. And I'm going to be in a good mindset 95% of the time because I'm not feeling like I'm being pulled down from my body. And it's a shitty feeling, but it is what it is. It's my situation. So I, as your coach, get to decide. I'm either going to let this feeling, this tightness, this pain determine my future, or I'm going to say, okay, pain, I've had you for 7 years. I've been through a whole lot of stuff with you for the last 7 years. And what I'm going to do with you, pain, is I'm going to ball you up. I'm going to take you to the chest, and I'm going to use you as fuel, use you as motivation, use me as my center of drive, so that every day when I wake up and I feel tight and I feel stiff and I'm in a shit ton of discomfort, I'm going to remember that you're temporary. So if you guys are going through pain, angst, hurt, trauma, anxiety, depression, picture you holding that pain in your fist and you keeping it right here. Keep it nice and close because it's going to be a reminder so that one day when you're able to let that pain go and one day when you're able to move on from that pain, you can say to yourself, I did it. I held on. I didn't quit. I kept pushing forward and I did it. Without any help, I was able to do this by myself. And guys, that I haven't been there yet. I haven't overcome this obstacle yet. It's been 7 fucking years. I have not overcome this obstacle yet at 25. But I know that I have the mentality needed to crush what I'm going through. And I know one day I'm going to be able to let this pain go. And I'm going to be able to say I did it by myself. And I was relentless in that time. And I never gave up. That is the main message that I always push. That is always the main message. That's what the main message is always going to be with the show, with my social media, with the lives, with everything. It's going to be about that, being relentless. So that being said, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day today. Like I said, you guys can find this live training, this podcast on Instagram, Facebook, the podcast as well. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Steven said, got to put forth the effort for yourself. We have to put ourselves first. Amen, bro. So happy you got something from it, man. Thank you so much for showing up. Babe, thank you so much for showing up. I love you so much. Who else is in here? Anybody else in here? Make sure I don't miss any comments. Kate said, focusing and being present in the present moment helps me. Once I start thinking out how things will turn out in the future, my anxiety kicks in. Absolutely, babe. Right there with you. We're both on the same page. Stress, and then you said stress in this life is inevitable. It's how we push through it. Amen. Love this topic. So many of us struggle with anxiety and stress. I'm kind of going backwards here, but I don't want to miss anything. And then It's Gibby said struggled with depression and anxiety for so long and was on medication for 12 years and finally stopped all of it and trying to find other ways to cope. My man, Gibby, if you're still in here, I don't know if you are. If not, I hope that you watch the replay or listen to the podcast. This was a fire episode, and I believe I listed a bunch of things that you can do to cope with your anxiety and to get off of that medication because I don't want you on medication. You don't deserve to be on medication. I was prescribed anxiety medication last summer. I never filled the prescription because I said, what is that going to get? What is that going to do? I'm aware of all of these other holistic methods. I know what my problem is. Yes, I'm anxious, but I'm going to go deal with it the way that a strong-willed human being would deal with it 1,000 years ago, right? And that's through holistic medication. And that's what I believe in. I don't really believe in, in some cases, yes, guys, severe cases, medication, yes, is necessary. That's not what I'm saying here. But Gibby, my friend, I hope that this podcast helps you, and I hope you can get some from it. That's it, guys. That's all. Much love, much respect. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, 12 p.m. Peace, love. Stay fucking relentless. Let's go, guys.